Last night, Disney Plus's latest Star Wars series, Skeleton Crew, premiered, and me and my significant other were, not feeling up to watching Tulsa's King last night, so we figured, all right, well, give this a shot. The hell. And you know what? Honestly, can't say it's great, but it's okay. It's okay.
My word. High praise.
Yeah, okay is not exactly high praise, but come on, let's be honest. With the most recent productions from D+, Ahsoka, Acolyte, third season of Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. The bar's not very high, but you know what? For what it is, it's okay. It's sort of a, it's described as a coming of age Star Wars show. Young kids in the Star Wars universe. And I honestly, they may not even need to be in the Star Wars universe. They're just using it as a backdrop. So for me, it's, kind of Goonies in space. There's very much a Stranger Things vibe with the age of the kids. They're all their kind of preteen age. The main character is Wim, and his friend is Neil, who's a blue elephant character. I thought it was an Ortolan. It's not. The other two characters are Fern and KB, and she's sort of got the Geordie LaForge visor going on. They all have their very defined roles in the show, and kind of works. Wim has sort of an adventurous spirit. Neil, honestly, I like Neil to be kind of just like Ned in Spider-Man Homecoming. KB's sort of, if you go with Goody, she seems to be the tech person, kind of like Data, played by Kehu Long. I forgot. I always mispronounce his name. Guy who played Short Round in Temple of Doom. And Fern, she's kind of like, she feels like she's older than the other kids by a year or two. And she's got an attitude, kind of a rebellious spirit. Maybe she's more of a Han Solo character as opposed to Wim, who still has that kind of wistful for adventure Luke Skywalker spirit in A New Hope. So the whole story, like I say, is a coming of age story, and it was purposely made that way. The creator is John Watts, who directed all three of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. The primary writer's name, what's his name? Christopher Ford. He was the writer on Spider-Man Homecoming. And they intentionally made it to have this vibe to appeal to younger kids. And I think it's effective that way. These are young kids on this planet, which is very Earth-like. I remember I was talking with my significant, I'll just call her Go Blue Girl. I'm Duke Devil 95. She's Go Blue Girl 96, figure out our college allegiances from there. So Blue Girl's like, this reminds her of E.T., and it really does. The whole setup of the city, the town, it very much has like this Southern California 1980s feel, except in the Star Wars universe. It's kind of weird. It doesn't seem very Star Wars-y, but I think that plays into something later on. So, we get to see the kids. We learn them, they're all classmates and everything. And Wim discovers what he thinks is a Jedi temple. And he wants adventure, so he thinks he's found a Jedi temple. Turns out to be a starship with the kids kind of accidentally activate and get trapped on. They then get set off into space from their home planet of Adalan. And I keep thinking At, like the walkers, at Adalan. And they end up going through a barrier and out into space. And it's interesting because they're surprised seeing space, stars, and planets. So there's a little bit of mystery to the planet, which we later learn is apparently a lost planet of fabled treasure. It very much seems to be cut off from the New Republic era, which is where this takes place. This is Mandalorian time. And it's about, starts off with a scene with pirates in the beginning. And we're told this is about the New Republic and, pirates being involved. And we even get to see one of the pirates from The Mandalorian. I believe his name was Vane. He was with the pirate king Gore or something. I don't remember. He looked like seaweed. He shows up. But we also see pirate captain named Silvo in the beginning, who gets to overthrow him because he leads his pirate crew to an empty vessel, which is thought to be loaded with New Republic credits. It wasn't, so he gets overthrown by a werewolf-like character named Brutus. Reminds me of a character from the original Star Wars and the cantina scene. These kids get trapped on this ship. They meet a droid on the ship whose name is SM-33, voiced by Nick Frost, famous for being in many of the Simon Pegg movies, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. Character's not bad. Interestingly, he's missing an eye, so maybe this is an analogy to One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies. But he's the robot, the droid on the ship, and is about to throw the kids off when the Fern decides to take a little charge, says she killed the captain, so now she's the captain, and now this is how the adventure begins. So the kids now have control of the ship. They don't know where they are. The droid doesn't know what their planet at Atlan is, so he takes them to a pirate base called Port Borgo, and that's where the kids, of course, get into some trouble. They meet some of the pirates, and it's very clear they're kids. And honestly, the interaction's not bad. The kids are being kids. I don't think it's overplayed that they're, like smarter than they should be. They're kids. And I think, the actors actually do a decent job of doing that. So, whoever's out there thinking, oh, you're going to badmouth the kids, don't badmouth the kids. Look, the kids are professional actors. So if they're not doing a good job, you can say they're not doing a good job, but the kids are fine. There are bad kid actors out there. I'm sorry. Not everyone is Jodie Foster as a kid or Natalie Portman as a kid. The bottom line is they're bad kid actors. These kids are okay. I think they do their job fine. They're cute, whatever. Ultimately, the kids get thrown in prison, and that's where we meet Jude Law, who plays a Jedi character. And god dang, what's his name? Joda, whatever. I can't remember his name entirely. Jodovan, something like that. The bottom line is, the big secret is that he's actually the pirate Captain Silvo, who's deposed, but he's also apparently a Jedi because he uses the Force to help grab a key and free himself and the kids from the jail. So this is the story. And I think it would appeal to a lot of younger people. It's like I say, it's not bad. It's probably going to appeal to kids, 5 to 10 years old. It's interesting that a lot of people are like, this is Star Wars for kids. Okay. Star Wars always was for kids. Star Wars came out in 1977. I saw it in September of 77. I was 4, almost 5. Saw it like a dozen times. 4 or 5-year-old kid. That was Star Wars to me. I was a Star Wars fan the entire time. Empire comes out, Jedi comes out. I'm going to the theater. My parents take me to the theater multiple times. So I don't understand why this has to appeal to kids. Star Wars appeals to kids. It appeals to adults. This is just, I guess, more kid-centric. So I think you can forgive a lot of, maybe the criticisms a older Star Wars fan would have about lore and such. Having it placed in the New Republic, I think, gives the writers an opportunity to be a little more free, since this is a time period we don't know about. Of course, some of us older Star Wars fans would like to know more about the New Republic and maybe a certain Jedi Master and what happens, but I guess, until they get Sebastian Stan to sub in from Mark Hamill, that ain't going to happen. But like I say, it's okay. It's not bad. It's a lark. Kids are fine. Story's okay. It's a coming of age story and has that very, 1980s Steven Spielberg feel. And if it stays that way, I think it'd be okay. It's not going to move the needle anything. Compared to some of the stuff we've seen, it's better what we had from Disney Star Wars. Could be enjoyable. Probably some light, funny stuff, not appealing to adults, but that kid age, 5 to 10, probably worked just fine. So yeah, it's fine. I am curious about a few things, just from the older Star Wars fan lore perspective. At Atlan is a lot of hints that it goes back to the Republic, not Old Republic, not Knights of the Old Republic, but Old Republic, not just in the Republic prior to the Galactic Empire. There's some mention of using Datares, which is how Qui-Gon Jinn referred to Republic credits. So this seems to tie back to a time before the Empire, which makes you wonder, how is this planet secured? There's some weird, some sort of spatial barrier, plasma barrier around it. the kids have to go through in the ship, the planet's hidden away, potential treasure. You can see where it's going. I think you're going to have a lot of Disney influence from the idea of, Pirates of the Caribbean, throw in some Goonies stuff. It could be enjoyable. I don't know. The first couple episodes were fine. Probably keep watching to see how it goes. I don't think it's going to offend me that much. And hopefully, something for kids to enjoy just for a little bit, but not going to move the needle on Star Wars until they really figure out what they want to do with the property. Questions, comments, witticisms down below. Click all those good buttons. See you guys next time.